Hello everybody and welcome to the final part of the liquidity section. Today we're going to be going over a trade breakdown using liquidity, and I'm going to be going over using liquidity to say, stay aware in the market and make sure I'm not getting in an order block where there is liquidity, and using equal highs and equal lows, right? So now let's begin. So we're going to be breaking down two trades. So if I just show you, we'll go on the 30-minute, right? So we've got a sell, then straight afterwards we've got a buy, right? So if we begin with a sell, and I just replay price to about here. First of all, let's go over the trend. So for the last the last 2 weeks, right? At the time of this trade, we had seen bullish structure, right? And if I just show you here, we had quite bullish structure, right? And we were forming new highs. But then in just the recent the recent 5 days before this trade, we saw steady bearish market, right? As you can see here, creating new lows, right? And creating lower highs. So that was good. But what really took me to take this trade was the fact that on the higher time frame, we had also been seeing bearish structure, and we were returning to this some sort of trend line within this area over here, right? So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm not using this trend line to take your trade. I'm just using it in order to indicate whether this market is being heavily oversold or heavily overbought, right? And now we're going to be looking into the more bearish side of the market because we're getting closer to this trend line, right? And if we were like down here in price, I wouldn't be looking to sell as much as I am when I'm over here, right? So I was just keeping that in mind as I was looking for sales, right? And then we saw this really nice order block, high volume, breaking structure to the downside, really nice order block. And then I spotted, just before the trade would have been triggered, I spotted these equal highs, right? And that is just, the cherry on top, right? We've got the, the extra confidence right there telling me to take this trade, and price broke out of this area of, grabbed this area of liquidity, tapped into our order block, and then, bang, right? So, and then you could have just set your take profit right here at the bottom of this buy order block because we expect it, to get hit, right? And yeah, so that's that for the sell, using liquidity here, using that trend line, understanding whether we will be liquidated from this trade. We will not, because I don't see any liquidity within this area that could possibly take us out, right? So that's one way I've used liquidity. Now we've got the second example here, right? And let me just reset my screen real quick. Right, so we've got this example over here, right? So if I just go to 30-minute, we'll replay price to about here. Now, at this current moment, I'll just represent this with the dollar sign, right, or the pound sign. So what do we have here, right? We had an order block on the lower time frame, and at this point, we saw the creation of equal lows, right, in this little zone area. And yet again, that is more confidence for me to take this trade, right? First of all, we've seen the high volume, we've seen the break of structure to the upside. We're breaking all of these structures over here. But what's more important is that we are getting, a sense into price is looking to take out these equal lows in order to, make a sharp move down into this and mitigate all of the negative positions that I once here, right? And that's exactly what happens. Now, see, price comes in, gets us in our entry, and then we hit take profit, right? I wasn't sure that wasn't working. So that's exactly what happened with this exact trade. We saw the equal lows, price came, grabbed all the liquidity within this area, and not only that, right? If I can just look at over here, price is also grabbing this liquidity. Why is it grabbing this liquidity? Because it needs to make the move up, right? Then make the move down, grabbing this liquidity. So price has grabbed liquidity both to the upside and to the downside, right? So that's even more indication that smart money is getting involved in this move, right? So that's exactly how I've used liquidity in both of these trades. Hope it helped. Hope it helps you in your future trades, and I'll see you guys in the next section.